ओम नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। हरिः ओम। हृदयकमलमध्ये राजमानं मुनीन्द्रं प्रणतजनसुधाब्धिं ज्ञानमार्गाग्रगण्यं ऋजुपददिशमाद्यं दक्षिणामूर्तिरूपं रमणगुरुवरेण्यं भावये बोधसूर्यम्। प्रशान्तगम्भीरनिजस्वभावं प्रकृष्टकल्याणगुणप्रचारं प्रबोधयन्तं श्रुतिवाक्यसारं प्रभाकरं तं रमणेशमीडे। प्रचण्डमायाकृतकालहीनं प्रकृष्टसर्वात्मरसप्रदानं प्रतिष्ठितं तं निजरूपभावे प्रमोदवन्तं रमणेशमीडे। प्रबोधचन्द्रोदयहेतुमेकं प्रभासमानं चितिभानुमन्तं प्रकृष्टभासाकमनीयकान्तिं प्रमेयशून्यं रमणेशमीडे। प्रकृष्टकारुण्यचिदात्मशक्त्या प्रसारयन्तं प्रकृतेः प्रभावं प्रलोभदूरं परिपूर्णकामं प्रशस्तमेकं रमणेशमीडे। प्रसह्य संकल्पपरम्पराणां प्रभेदने चित्तविकारभावे प्रशोभितं तं परमप्रकाशं प्रदीपमेकं रमणेशमीडे। अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विधूततिमिरं ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतं स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम् अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन्। पश्यन् विश्वमपीतमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः। कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधियां दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्। अरुणाचलशिव हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति। हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जता वां पवनचलनरोधाद् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। Pranams to all the devotees of Bhagavan on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima. We have got this sacred opportunity to speak about Bhagavan, to contemplate on Him, to meditate on His teaching. And to be blessed by that. For any spiritual aspirant, Guru Purnima is the most auspicious day. It is not for celebration, but it is for deepening one's spiritual practice. Generally, for a sadhaka, any special day, any celebration is a disturbance. I've heard an anecdote about Muruganar Swamigal. One who was ever in Ramana Lahari, in inundation of Ramana experience. So one day, one devotee went to see Swami. Swami was staying right opposite to Ramanashram in a building where Kanakamma used to stay. There one devotee went to see Swamiji, and while conversing, Swami asked him, why today there is some flow of more devotees in Tiruvannamalai. And the devotee was shocked. He said, Swamiji, today is Shivaratri. And then Swamiji, oh, is it? I was not aware of it. The thing is, he is staying in Arunachala, and Shivaratri is one of, from his childhood, he was a great Shiva Bhakta. And after coming to Bhagavan Ramana and Shiva became one for him. And he had done so much Giri Pradakshina, and our Ganeshana used to say, he used to stand holding to that window iron bar, looking at Arunachala for 2 hours, 3 hours in ecstasy. Such a saint says he was unaware of Shivaratri, because for a realized soul, every day, every night is Shivaratri, Shiva day. Because Shiva has happened to them as their own inner self, as their own inner being. Shiva is your own self. Some devotee asked Bhagavan Ramana, just very casually he was talking to Bhagavan, and he asked Bhagavan, suppose Arunachaleshwara comes in front of you, what will you ask? Bhagavan said, don't try to deceive me. I will also tell Arunachala, don't try to deceive me by coming in front in this form. Because Arunachala is the inner self. I don't want this coming and going. Pokku varavu illa Poduveliyinil Arul Porattam Kattan Arunachala. This Pokku varavu is a poratam. Poratam means conflict. What is the conflict? This pokku means going away from spiritual experience. That often happens to any spiritual aspirant. When you first come to the Guru Sannidhi, or when you first have an explosion, spiritual explosion, it can happen sometimes in a temple, sometimes when you look at Arunachala, or some first time when you come to Bhagavan's Samadhi, or even it can happen when you read a book of Bhagavan. And some rare devotees, they had a dream vision of Bhagavan, and that explosion happened. And for many, many days, many, many months, they have lived in that ecstasy. But that ecstasy will not stay, because any experience that the mind gathers will go. Even the Upanishad says, yogic state will come and go. Yogo hi prabhavapyayau. Prabhava means coming up, and appeya means going, it subsides. So yoga comes and goes, but jnana will not come and go. Any kind of spiritual experience is it has pok, because varavu means it comes, it happens, and poku means it goes. So all these experiences come and go. Why do they disappear? Because when grace operates, you have the deep blessed feeling inside you. You feel that inner well-beingness, beatitude, and suddenly the mind creeps in and it goes, disappears. So this is like a conflict between grace and mind. Poratam, Arul Poratam. The grace is trying to pull you within, and the mind tries to pull you outside. This conflict every sadhaka has to go through all his life, till he comes to that final conclusion of that pratyabhijna, where he recognizes that truth which ever remains, which is Irundolir, as Bhagavan says, existence and effulgence. That is real Arunachala Swarupa. See, the entire Bhagavan's teaching we can sum up in that Arunachala Ashtagam. Real Arunachala, you can never miss Arunachala. We devotees, we have been staying in Arunachala for almost, I have been staying in Arunachala for almost permanently for last more than 10-15 years. Before that also I used to hasten to Arunachala very often. And whenever I had to leave Arunachala, that pain will be there, that longing will be there. Whenever I am away from Arunachala, sometimes the remembrance comes that all devotees will be there, they will be going around the hill, they will be sitting in the presence of Bhagavan. That viraha, that kind of pain arises. Oh, I am away, I am amidst worldly people. Their devotees will be there. Wherever you look, you will see people meditating. Wherever you look, you will see people going around the hill. So that kind of viraha, that kind of longing will be there. But at last, ultimately, you will realize you can never go away from Arunachala. Bhagavan has told this umpteen times to many devotees. Some devotees, they will come from America or some other country, Europe, and when they have to go back, they used to feel immense pain in their heart, and many have expressed to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, we are going away from Arunachala. And Bhagavan used to say, Arunachala is your self. And sometimes they will say, we are going away from Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan will tell them, Bhagavan is your self. Bhagavan is not this body. Bhagavan is Agattamarai Malarmeethurai Arunachala Ramanan. Who is this Arunachala Ramana? Ahattamarai Malarmeethurai Arunachala Ramanan. Arunachala Ramana is Hridaya Kamala Madhye Rajamanam Munindram. That is the verse which I chanted now. So he is the consciousness which is shining forth, effulgent in your heart as the real import of I. So you can never miss Bhagavan. Like that Arunachala also you can never miss, because real form of Arunachala is within you as Irundolir. Bhagavan says, to search for a God outside is to search for darkness. You are searching for darkness with a torch in your hand, with a brilliant light in your hand. You are searching for darkness, says Bhagavan. Irundolir unai viduthu aduttida deivam irittinai vilakkeduthu adittidalai kaanu. This is a very powerful song, Something like this, a verse is written by Sureshwaracharya in his Brihadaranyaka Vartikam. I have not seen that verse. I have read that verse somewhere, quoted. In that verse also Sureshwaracharya says, the Atman, the self, can never find ignorance, because the very nature of the self is jnanam. The very nature of the self is effulgence, light. So wherever you look, you see only jnanam. Wherever you look, there is no jadam, there is no matter at all, because you are consciousness. And one more thing, Bhagavan says, anything other than you is darkness. You are light. Your existence, consciousness, awareness is effulgence. It is light. And everything other than the world, God, ego, body, other people, everything is darkness. It is not self-effulgent. The only thing which is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha. Swayam Prakasha is your own inner being which is shining forth in your heart as I. That is why Vedanta is so simple, because the moment the teacher points it out, you recognize. One word from the master, that you are the Swayam Prakasha Vastu. You are the self-effulgent reality. You recognize it. Actually, there is no question even of who am I. Bhagavan says in his Ulladhu Narpadu, Aduve ni endru ammaraigal aarthidavum. Ahaspudam tattvamasi iti Veda. When Veda tells you tattvamasi, you are that, you have to abide. That is the sign of a mature person. If you are a real devotee, when you go to a master who is a Brahmanishta and he tells you, you are Brahman, finished, the job is over. You no more identify with the Jiva Bhava. You no more identify with the body, mind, ego. You are established in the self. That simple is the truth, says Bhagavan. Instead of such abidance, instead of such instantaneous abidance, Sadhyo Jata. Shiva is called as Sadhyo Jata. Sadhyo Jata means Sadhya means instantaneous, now. And Jata means experience happens. Means you abide. The moment the teacher tells you, you abide there. The realization happens. And without doing so, you continue inquiry means you do not have that kind of Shraddha in you. Uran inmayinal, says Bhagavan in Ulladhu Narpadu. That purity of mind, that power of mind is not there just to abide. See, somebody asked Muruganar Swami, Swamiji, how did you attain realization? Because he has sung in so many songs that Bhagavan has given him that state, Bhagavan has made him abide in that state. So some devotee asked Swami, how did you get that experience? How much time did you meditate? And you know what Swami said? Bhagavan did not give, first he asked, meditation? Dhyanama. Then he said, Bhagavan did not give me time even to wink. Before I could wink, the thing is over. Because realization happens not within the boundary of time, space, or causation. It is not a mental experience. It is the eternal experience. Bhagavan only just points it out. Just one look from him is enough. That is why Muruganar said in many songs, Tirukannokam. That divine look of Bhagavan sometimes penetrates into you and tells you that you are me, I am you. That is Bhagavan's look. What is that kan? Kan means eye. In English it is beautiful. It is pronounced in the same way. E-Y-E-I and the I. The self-I. Both are same. It is very easy. And actually the real I with which you behold the truth is the I. The self-I. The first person, the real implied meaning of first person is consciousness. Consciousness becomes your I. And with that I only a Jivan Mukta looks at you. And when he looks at you, Prajna Netram is the word. The Upanishad says Prajna Netram. Netram means eye, Prajna means awareness, illumination. With the eye of illumination, he looks at you, and one look, what he is carrying in his heart, that effulgence is lit inside you. It is put inside you. The same fire is given to you. You are also ablaze with that illumination. So that happens when you go near a being, mighty spiritual being like Bhagavan. So Bhagavan Ramana's teaching is so simple. It is the age-old teaching of the Upanishads. In fact, Bhagavan called Arunachala. Bhagavan's Arunachala is the teaching only. Bhagavan said Arunachala means the teaching that is there in the Vedas. First, outwardly, Arunachala is the hill. Secondly, Arunachala is the teaching. Vedantate verara vilangum veda porul arul Arunachala. The teaching is Vedantate means in the Upanishads. Verara means the separation is removed. There is no duality. There is no I, you, he. That duality drops off and Vilangum shines forth. What shines forth? Veda Porul. The treasure that is hidden in Vedas, the self, that Brahmavastu, it shines forth. That is Arunachala. And third, Arunachala means the grace emanating from of Guru. That is why in Aksharamana Malai, almost in every song, you will come across the word Arul. It is Arunachala, not Arunachala, it is Arulnachala. He is of the form of Arul. Karuna Purna Sudhabdi. Arul Niraivana Amuda Kadal. That is what Bhagavan says. Arunachala means ocean of grace. So that first is Arunachala is the hill. That is Shiva, who happened, who manifested as the primordial fire, colossal fire in front of Vishnu and Brahma. That is also true. Secondly, Arunachala is the teaching, that Mahavakya, which tells you you are not separate from Brahman, which gives you Jiva Brahmaikya, Rupa Anubhuti. And third, Arunachala is Guru. Arunachala is perfect Guru. Shiva is always pictured as Guru. Shankaracharya also says, Shambho Loka Guru Madhiya Manasaha Saukhyopadesham Kuru. In Shivananda Lahari, Shankaracharya says, Shiva, you are the supreme universal Guru. Give me that teaching. What kind of teaching? The teaching with which I will attain Saukhyam. Means my mind will become quiet, calm, fulfilled. I will feel that peace of the self with me. Give me that teaching. Because he himself has to give the teaching. As Dakshinamurti, he gave the teaching to Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana and Sanat Kumara. And the best way of implanting the experience in the disciple is through Mauna. That is why he has taken the form of Arunagiri. As Bhagavan says in his Arunachala Ashtagam, Vindidad un nilai vilakkida endre Vindalam achalamai vilangida nindrai. Vindidad pandini vilakkinai. As Dakshinamurti, Pandu means long back, in the beginning of time, not in this earthly time. It is not in earth. In the other realm, where all the devas are there, all these divine sages went to Shiva for the teaching. And he was as a young man of 16, radiant, sitting under the Vatavriksha, that banyan tree. And all these sages, immensely longing for liberation, were sitting in front of him. Very beautiful picture. Chitram Vatataror Mule, a wondrous picture. Vriddhaha Shishyaha. Disciples are all very old sages. Old means not only the Sanaka, Sanandana, many other old sages were there. That is why Vriddha Shishya is said. Otherwise, Sanaka, Sanandana, these four Brahmakumaras are always young. They are all boys. But old sages many were there. And the Guru is Yuva. He is young. And he is giving the teaching. How is he transmitting the teaching? Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam. He is transmitting the teaching through profound mystic silence. That mauna means, erasing actually. It erases the jiva bhava, the ego. It erases the body. It erases the difference between you, me, and the space in between. In Aksharamanamale, Bhagavan says, Arunachala, give me that blissful state of maunam where neither the I operates nor I interact with the you nor he. Ni nan ara puli. Nidam kalimayamai nindidum nilai arul Arunachala. That blissful state, that silence, that profound maunam of self-experience, samadhi. Let it bloom within me is the prayer of Bhagavan in Aksharamanamale. So that maunam, Arunachala is constantly emanating that maunam, says Bhagavan. Dakshinamurti is always there as Arunagiri. Many devotees are asking whether it is possible to see that Arunagiri yogi who is hidden in Arunachala. It is a Purana says that Shiva is always present in Arunachala in a human form as Arunagiri yogi. But Bhagavan says you need not search for Arunagiri yogi. This Arunagiri itself is Dakshinamurti. Vindidadu unnilai vilakkida. To propound, to expound the teaching, the knowledge, the experience of self without uttering a single word, he has taken this hill form. You have to just look at the hill, go around the hill, stay near the hill. The impact will be there. But once the experience has happened within you, you are Arunachala. When Muruganar was there, staying there in Chennai after Bhagavan's Samadhi, for longer period, for some reason he was staying there, and one devotee asked Swami, Bhagavan has spoken so much about Arunachala, and why are you staying in Chennai for longer periods? Then Swamiji, Muruganar, with so much bhava, he said, wherever I am staying, that is Arunachala. So that was their experience. Because once you have found that Arunachala is your own self. Bhagavan said, Aham iti nrityasi bhu. Bhagavan stayed in Arunachala without moving out for 54 years. But there is a story where Bhagavan tried many times to go out. Many times he tried to travel like the traditional sadhus. But Arunachala did not allow him to go out. Just like a very disciplinary father, Arunachala held Bhagavan there, captive. So, but Bhagavan said, Arunachala is not simply this hill. This hill has happened outside to give you the teaching. The hill is the Guru, Dakshinamurti. And what does it say? Whenever you look at Arunachala, it tells you, it is like a mirror, Muhuram. Mukkilan mungattu muhuramahadi and tukki anaitharula Arunachala. Very beautiful song. Muhuram means mirror. The mirror is kept there. For what? For looking at your own face. Like that, Arunachala is there, and it is a mirror of Vedanta. And what does that mirror do? It shows you not as this body. Mukilan Mungatu means very ugly person whose nose is cut. And if you show him mirror, he will feel, oh, so ugly I am. That will be his identity. So here Bhagavan says, as long as you identify with the body, you are Mukilan. And you look at this mirror, you feel still I am limited. I am limited with this body, I am limited with this mind. But whenever with devotion you look at Arunachala, Arunachala tells you, you are bodiless, you are mindless. Nakkanai nindranai Arunachala. That is the teaching. Nakkanai nindranai. Nakkan means Nagna. That is the Sanskrit word. When it comes to Tamil, it becomes Nakkan. Nakkan means naked. And what is the nakedness? devoid of the body dress, devoid of the mind dress. This mind, body are all coverings, dress. It is like, the Upanishad says, Manomayaha prana sharira neta pratisthito anne hridayam sannidhaya tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhiraha ananda rupam amritam yad vibhati. Mundakopanishad says. So Manomayaha, mind is like a banyan inside. And then prana, another coat. Then mind, then body, outside body is the coat outside. It's like wearing a banyan, like a shirt, and then a coat outside. And Arunachala tells you, remove all this, shirai ajit, remove all your dress, nirvanamai shait. Stand in nirvana means also naked. Niravaranam is nirvanam. All the avarana is removed, all the covering is removed, and the self shines forth in all splendor. You are no more like this limited body. Vinnuru. See, Aksharamanamala is a very profound Upanishad. No? Vinnuru nannida. Yennala irumendra Arunachala. When all the thoughts are quiet and silenced, you experience yourself not as this Mannuru, but as Vinnuru. This body is Mannuru. Bhumanam. Naksharmanamali says, it is made of earth and it smells the earth. Means it smells, it stings. As long as you identify with the body, there is that stink of ignorance in it. And you live it, Puranamanam. When you disassociate yourself from the body, there is that Puranamanam, that fragrance, divine, sacred fragrance of realization, fragrance of oneness, fragrance of Advaita Atmanubhuti comes to you. That is Ramananubhuti. One great writer, Ra Ganapati, wrote a book on Bhagavan, and he gave a beautiful name to that book in Tamil. He says Ramana Manam. The fragrance of Ramana. And another devotee also said, getting your fragrance, I came in search of you from the other side of the earth. Many devotees are coming here, no? Swanubhuti Darayalam Manak. Your Swanubhuti, experience of the self, every dust is fragrant with that. So that Anubhuti arises from the heart when you come to the Master. He tells you, you have no body. See, self-realization is very easy for a person who has bhakti, who has become ripe, who has Guru Bhakti. Shankaracharya says, Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Samsarad Achirad Bhava Muktaha. If you have Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhakti, that immense devotion to Guru, instantaneously you become free, because the Master tells you, you have no body, you have no mind, you are free. You are free, that's all. Many have got it like that. No? Thinnai Swami, when he came to Bhagavan, he asked Bhagavan, what should I do? Bhagavan said, Iru. That's all. Many Siddhas, they gave the teaching, Chumma Iru. But Bhagavan even gave up the Chumma, and he simply said, Iru. Abide, be. And he was established. And there were many who did not even speak to Bhagavan, who never spoke to Bhagavan. I have asked Kanakamma many times, have you, Amma, spoken to Bhagavan? She said, how can I speak to Bhagavan? When I enter the ashram, the body falls. I go near the ashram, the mind falls. When I am in front of Bhagavan, I am not there. Then how can I speak? Who can speak? There is no question of speaking to Bhagavan. That was their state. And see how she lived all her life in that inundation she lived. And one of the glorious death amongst all the devotees of Bhagavan, I don't think anybody got such a death. On Bhagavan's Jayanti day, many have seen that. When all the Veda Parayana is happening, She went round Bhagavan's Samadhi and dropped the body there. Just like Andal, you know. So Bhagavan's direct devotees, they were all gems. Many people, even very recently I heard a very famous speaker telling that Ramana Maharshi had no disciples. And we know innumerable were Bhagavan's disciples. Innumerable were Bhagavan's devotees who got it from him. That speaker says nobody got this jnanam from Maharshi. People think if somebody has got jnanam from Bhagavan, they should be like Vivekananda, knowing everywhere, famous. Then only they say, yes, such a great disciple. But the greatness of Bhagavan's direct devotees is that there was, once I was speaking to our respected KVS in ashram, and amidst conversation this topic came. I told him, the greatest power manifest in Bhagavan's presence. One power we know is that Maunam, the other is he just kept all his great mighty devotees, mighty disciples who got the same experience, the state in which he was, he gave that state to them. But still, he put that Tirodhana Shakti, that Avarana Shakti, spread it out and kept them hidden, protected them from the public eye. Where nobody recognized that such great beings were amidst them. Such realized beings were amidst them. So many got. Even now that is happening, you know. So we are all blessed. See, the greatest achievement in life is, Vidyaranya Swami says, when you can touch your heart and tell, I am blessed. Dhanyoham, dhanyoham, tridhanyoham. No complaint about life. Ma shuchaha. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, 3 times he says, Ashocyanan vashochastum. Beginning itself he says, the sign of realization, the sign of spiritual life is you have no grief, no sorrow. And in the end also he says, Ma shuchaha. Grieve not. And again to Arjuna also he says, Ma shuchaha sampadam daivim abhijadosi pandava. So no shoka, shokam ma karshihi. If you have grief, if you have sorrow, you don't feel the blessedness, you have not come in contact with the realized master. The moment you have come in contact with an illumined sage, your heart will constantly sing this song of blessedness. You will feel dhanyoham, dhanyoham, tridhanyoham. Praptavyam praptam. Whatever has to be achieved is achieved. Kartavyam kritam. Whatever has to be done is done. Nothing to know more, nothing to achieve, nothing to attain, nowhere, no place to go. That kind of fulfillment, that kind of peace happens, you know. The ego is not active. There is shanti in the heart. There is that joy, santosha. That is the most beautiful word Bhagavan liked, you know. Even in his last moment, when he expressed thanks to his attendant, he said santosha. That is the beautiful word which Bhagavan used for thanks. He said santosha. And when that santosham happens, in Aksharamanamala Bhagavan says, when dosham is removed, santosham happens. Dosham means ignorance. Dosham also means darkness. Dosha means darkness. Dosha means night. Pradosha means the pre-night. The time before darkness is pradosha. Prabhata means the time before dawn. So, dosha is night, ignorance. It represents ignorance. So, when dosha is removed, ignorance, ajnana is removed, santosha happens. And that santosha, Bhagavan has given us. That feeling he has given us. And he has made us know that the body is not me, the mind is not me. I am the existence. I am the Satchidananda Vastu. I have no body or no mind. And again, mysteriously, the body is there, the problem is there, the destiny is there, everything is there, but not in me. As the clouds are there in the sky, but they are not in the sky. Darkness appears in the sky, but it will not touch the space. Sun is there, moon is there, stars is there, nothing can touch the space. Like that, the inner being, the inner self cannot be touched by anything. It is asango hyayam purusha, ever immaculate, ever free of any contamination. It is the nitya shuddha buddha mukta vastu. That truth, that self, Bhagavan has lit that light of self-experience, atmanubhuti, in our heart also, and that is the greatest blessedness. And even after this, what should we do? There is only one thing, every Shiva devotee, when Shiva took hold of them, Sundarar, one of the most well-known devotee, who sang so many songs, when Shiva came and took hold of him, in Tamil we say Taduthu Aatkollar. So when he took hold of him, his worldly life is over. That's the beauty, in that Periya Puranam. Sundarar was about to get married. Shiva came there as an old man, old Brahmin, and put a stop to that marriage and enslaved Sundarar. We know the story. After enslaving Sundarar, what happened? Shiva had to get him married twice. 2 marriages had to happen. That was his destiny. But see, when Lord takes hold of you also, the prarabdha continues. But prarabdha is in his charge. Once he has taken hold of you, there is neither good nor bad. Shubha shubha phalairevam mokshase karma bandhanaihi. Bhagavan says in Gita, once you surrender to me, there is neither shubha nor ashubha. So that kind of state comes when he takes hold of you. After that, Sundarar asked the Lord, what should I do? And you cannot predict when Bhagavan will come into your life and take hold of you. You can never say. And in Sundarar's life, we cannot say that was a good moment when he came. Because when everybody was happy, his heart also was dancing that he is going to get married to a very beautiful girl. That time this old man came and put a stop to everything and enslaved him. Sundarar called Shiva as madman, Pittan. We also feel many times when Lord plays pranks with our life, he must be out of his head. But Lord liked that name very much. So when Sundarar asked, what should I do? Shiva said, sing. Sing about me. How should I sing? Chant my nama first. What nama? You gave me a very beautiful name, Pittan, madman. Start with that. Then Sundarar started Pitta, Piraishudi, Pemmane, Arulala. First name is Pittan, mad person. And the Lord is mad after his devotees. His madness to us is infatuation to us. Like a mother is infatuated to the child. Like that, Lord's infatuation towards devotees is what we call as grace. Whatever mistake you do, he is behind you to redeem you, to catch hold of you, to give you his grace. So, after this Guru Anugraha, we have only one thing to do. This body lives. And what should we do the remaining time? Sing his glory. Think about him. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dridhavrataha namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. In Aksharamana Bhagavan says, Anbodu unnamam kel anbardam anbaru kanbanayida arula Arunachala. Today, on this auspicious Guru Purnima, Vyasa Jayanti, Bhagavan Veda Vyasa is worshipped today. And Veda Vyasa, Shankara and Ramana are all same. As Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni says, Yat Purvam Shrutipara Darshi Dhishano Dvaipayano Dhyaruhat Pasyat Bodhakala Vidhutatimiras Shankapaha Shankaraha Tat Sampratya Khilavani Talajusham Acharya Simhasanam Devatvam Prativikshate Naratano Girvana Senapate. It's a very beautiful verse in Chatvarimshat for Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni says, the throne in which Vyasa sat, after that the throne in which Sri Shankaracharya sat, that same throne, O Lord, is waiting for you, O Subramanyam, O Jnana Swarupa, he is calling Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, Vyasa has taken the form of Bhagavan for us now, or the same principle which appeared as Vedavyasa, appeared as Shankaracharya, appeared as Ramana. Bhagavan himself has said this. In one of his verses, Bhagavan says, Aanmavin Bodhamarul Ashanam Shankaran, Avanmavu Kanniyanavano, Ennagatte Irundu Indru Tamil Solluvanum Annavanandri Matri Arulan. That same truth which spoke through Shankaracharya, the same principle is speaking through me, writing through me in Tamil. So the same principle has manifested. So this Guru Purnima day, we have to sing, we have to think, we have to recollect this beautiful form of Bhagavan, divine teaching of Bhagavan. And I am speaking today because Sharadaka of Ramana Center for Learning, Bangalore, she out of great affection for me called me and requested that you should give one satsang on this day. She asked for a message, but message, I am not an acharya or anything to give a message, it's all Bhagavan's message. And Sharadaka has been blessed from her childhood to be associated with Bhagavan. Her father, A.R. Nadarajan, was a great devotee of Bhagavan. Her mother, as a baby, has seen Bhagavan. And they were all whole life. Kanakama used to call them as Kottadimai. It's a cluster of devotees, the whole family. And in her, when she was 13, she was blessed by Muruganar Swami. So that kind of divine family they have started this movement of Ramana Bhava Prachara. So Ramana Bhava Prachara means singing about Bhagavan and beautiful dramas. Their plays are being, formerly I have not seen, now last 1.5 years I have seen 2 or 3 of their plays. It's all Ramana Lahari, it's all Ramana Bhava. So I am also, it is just our duty to serve Bhagavan's devotees, and some Bhagavan's devotees, they are doing so much for Bhagavad Bhakti. I am just whatever I can, I am doing this only through this pravachanam. And namaskar to all the devotees who are listening, who are seeing this video, and for all the devotees who have organized this. And let Bhagavan's grace pour forth immensely on all. I have not spoken about this rampant disease all around, because Bhagavan has said the body itself is a disease. So when we say disease has come, we have to say disease has happened to the disease. Vyadikki vyadhi vandhathu. So the body itself is a great problem. As long as we are carrying a body, we are in trouble. So wherever we see fear, there is only one cause for fear. There is only one virus which can create fear. The virus is ignorance. And fear comes because you think you are the body. And if you remove that virus from within, ahamenum moola aviddai ahandrida, says Bhagavan. That virus has happened to you as I, ego I. And once you remove it, no virus can strike you. Even death cannot touch you. Namanayum anjom, says. We will not fear even Yama, the god of death. So that kind of strength, courage happens within us. This spiritual knowledge is the only antidote to this problem. Of course, I am not denying the magnitude of problem around us. So many doctors, so many people are serving the society for this. They are all with immense love doing their part. But from our part, we have to do only one thing. Meditate on the truth. Satya anusandhana rato vimuktaha. When you do anusandhana, contemplation of truth, you will be free. Mithya anusandhana ratastu nashyet. When you constantly reflect on mithya, evanescent things, annihilation is only waiting for you. So the only way is contemplation on truth, contemplation on the self. It gives you that tonic, that energizer, energy booster. The real energy booster is this self-experience. Atmana vindate viryam. The viryam arises from the Atman because you constantly tell you that you are the Atman. You are the self. You are the pure being. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not the ego. Then that power comes, that viryam comes. In that viryam only Bhagavan Ramana lived 54 years after illumination. Anybody could see him there in that magnificent state. Abhaya Pratishtha. That is, Brahmajnana means Abhaya Pratishtha, established in fearlessness. In Bhagavata, Parikshit says, Abhayam darshitam swaya tvaya. What did the Guru reveal? Parikshit says, you have revealed me fearlessness, the state where fear cannot creep in. Because fear comes from duality. When there is other, when there is another, fear is there. When there is no other, there is no fear. When only self is there, how can fear come? Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshata syat. When there is abhinivesha, fascination for the duality. When you are addicted to think about the other, fear comes. When you are established in yourself, in your being, even mind is not necessary. Mind is needed when you have to think about others. To be the self, only self is needed. It is self-effulgent. It is full in its own. It is all Purna. That Purnata is our real nature. That Purnata is the self. That Purnata is God. That Purnata is world. Everyone is Purna. There is nobody who is Apurna. Ultimately, Bhagavan says, is there anybody who has not realized the self? That's a great question, no? Only a sage can ask that question. And we have to meditate that also. Then we will find that everybody is a jnani. Everybody is in that state only. There is no ignorance at all. Sarvanubhuhu. The Upanishad says the truth is experienced by all, because whatever we experience is truth only. The body cannot be experienced. The mind cannot be experienced. The existence as I is Atman, it is Brahman, it is truth, it is Arunachala, it is Ramana Bhagavan, it is Shiva, it is Nirvana. So to recognize it. One moment you recognize, eternally you are free. If you miss that one moment, you miss it for eternity. The Upanishad says, Iha chedaveti tatha satyam asti. You recognize it now, you have got the truth, you are free. You miss it this moment, you miss it for eternity. Because you can never experience it in the future. It is always in the now. Iha chedaveti. Now, here, you experience it. That freedom is for you. It's sheer joy, no? To share this immense treasure of Atmanubhuti. That is Arunachala Swarupam. Thedadutranal Tiruvarul Nidhi. The great treasure of grace. So this blessed day has given us this opportunity to meditate on Bhagavan and Bhagavan's teaching, Vedanta Jnana, Advaita Jnana. At least when we meditate, we have so much energy, so much of virya in us. We are really blessed. And we have this prayer. With this prayer we will conclude. Let the whole world be blessed by this message. As the Upanishad says, not only this world, the other world also. Let them also listen. Shrinvantu vishve amritasya putraha. The sage, the rishi in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad first said, let everybody in the universe hear. And then he felt, he felt compassion for the Devas also. So then he said, let the Devas also listen. Ye dhamani divyani tastuhu. What should they listen? You are the self, you are the Atman. There is nothing, no cause for fear. Always auspiciousness alone is there. That Parama Purusha is there within you. This is the message. With this message, we conclude this talk, this great opportunity to meditate. This is sheer meditation for us. This deep meditation, Sharadaka has blessed me to contemplate on Bhagavan's teaching like this. And this blessedness, I don't know, I feel so much of joy within me to speak like this. In fact, not a big crowd or anybody around, only 3 children and 2 elders are sitting in front of me, and it is all pure bliss, elixir, amritam, as Bhagavan has said, amritam. Amurda vayai tira arunmati arunachala. Open your mouth, nectar will come out. That is, nectar means what? This teaching. So that Bhagavan has blessed. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.